Hi, my name is Amelia Alfiero, and I'm doing my presentation on 2023, the hottest year on record. What countries were impacted, what was the global response, and is there any ongoing global responses to climate change? My major is environmental science and political science, so this kind of fits well within those reaches. What does the hottest year mean? Earth's temperature has risen by an average of 0.11 degrees Fahrenheit per decade. It has risen about 2 degrees Fahrenheit in total since 1850. Last year was the hottest year ever recorded, according to temperature data going back to 1850. 2023 beat out 2016, the previous leader for the hottest year on record. It beat it out by about 0.4 of a degree Fahrenheit, according to EU data. Right now, the Earth is about 2.12 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average and about 2.43 degrees Fahrenheit above the pre-industrial average. All of the 10 warmest years on record have been recorded within 2014 to 2023. These drastic temperature changes have caused many negative effects around the world, including global ocean heat content has set a new record high, polar sea ice was sparse, 78 named storms have occurred the whole of December 2023, and it was also accelerated by the El Niño event. An impact of 2023 being the hottest year on record is the global ocean heat content setting a new record high. This addresses the amount of heat stored in the upper 2,000 meters of the ocean. This section also stores about 90% of the excess heat in the Earth's atmosphere. All of this excess heat leads to the melting of polar ice and glaciers. This contributed to the fact that the sea level rise from 2013 to 2022 is more than twice the rate of the first decade of satellite record. Another issue caused by 2023 being the hottest year on record was that the polar sea ice was very sparse. The minimum extent was in September, and it was about 6.55 million square miles, which was the lowest by a record margin. The minimum extent in February was about 600,000 square miles, which set a record low for the second consecutive year. As you can see on the graph, the blue line that represents 2023 is way below the other lines. This is the extent in square kilometers of how much the Antarctic sea ice stretched in total area. Another impact of 2023 being the hottest year on record is because of the ocean heating up, there is more weather activity. 78 named storms have occurred. 45 of those reached tropical cyclone strength, while 30 of them reached major tropical cyclone strength, which included the 7 storms that reached Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. The global accumulated cyclone energy, or ACE, was about 8% the 1991 to 2020 average. The U.S. also reported over 1,000 tornadoes, which is above the national average. In December 2023, for the 9th consecutive month, the global ocean surface was recordly warm. Regionally, North America and South America had their warmest December. The global surface temperature in December 2023 was 2.57 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average. In addition to 2023 being the hottest year on record, it was also an El Niño year. El Niño is Spanish for the Christ child, and it refers to the warming of ocean surface or above average sea surface temperatures in central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. It stops or changes the direction of easterly winds into westerly winds or very weak easterly winds. No two El Niño events are exactly alike, and it occurs irregularly every 2 to 10 years. While this year has not been as bad as previous years, it still is impacting 2023's global temperatures. With the melting of the glaciers, there is a noticeable increase in sea level rise and climate change global effects. There was a heat wave off the coast of Florida, which reached about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the same conditions as a hot tub, and coral can't survive this kind of prolonged heat. The sea level has risen about 8 to 9 inches since 1880. It also affects the water cycle, which led to a drought in Mississippi that affected 74% of the state. Major climate events also took place. This includes Canada's wildfire season, which was beyond anything recorded. These fires led to severe smoke pollution, particularly in heavily populated areas of eastern Canada and the northeastern United States. The United States also faced a severe wildfire in Hawaii. It had 99 deaths reported, which is the deadliest wildfire in the U.S. for more than 100 years. The major climate events also include all of the storms previously mentioned. So how countries responded to 2023? Even though countries agreed in 2015 in the Paris Agreement to stop global climate change from reaching above 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, 2023 was a record level for CO2 emissions from burning coal, oil, and gas. Countries like Spain, India, and France have dealt with extreme heat before and faced massive consequences, resulting in thousands of deaths. Ideas have been floated, but there's no concrete legislation in any of these countries to suggest any change anytime soon. In general, most countries have a position on climate change and what they're doing to prevent it. With China being one of the largest emitters of CO2, I wanted to take a look at what they did in response. In 2020, China's leader Xi Jinping pledged to peak carbon dioxide emissions before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. From my research, I can find no further comment on the topic. President Biden called the world leaders together to set a goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, which he says is within reach. There is a new law, the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, and bipartisan infrastructure law that are going to cut U.S. emissions in half by 2030 as well. Thank you for watching my presentation.